What's up, everybody? You're looking at the KLX300s. I'm gonna hop on this baby. I just got it here probably a week ago, 5-6 days ago anyhow, and I'm gonna hop on here, get it up in, and kind of give it a pretty good woods rip here, and maybe let you know what I think about it, and I can kind of give you a little bit of feedback. Prior to this, just in the end of 2020, I sold my CRF 250L, which I had for 6 years. Prior to the CRF, I had a WR 250R for 4 years, and as you can see, there's a DRZ 400 in the background, which I've had those off and on since they come out in 2002. So I'll try to give you a little bit of feedback between them all, and let you know. And before I get on this bike, the motor's stock, airbox is stock, exhaust is stock. I do have an exhaust coming. What has changed on this now that I'm riding it is the rear sprocket currently is a 47, and it has the counter shaft that comes on at the 14 tooth, which I may be changing that also. But this gearing is set up, it's great for woods. I have a video of what I've already done to this bike so far that you can check out. I'm gonna hop on this baby and get going. One bad thing about this bike is no fuel gauge, but it does have a fuel light, and they say you're supposed to have 15 to 20 miles once that light comes on. Bike always fires up quick, very quiet in stock form. The seating position on this bike, the seating position is very much like a CRF 250L. You're a little bit cramped if you're a taller guy. I'm 5'10", and the seat to the pegs is a little bit cramped. A WR 250R is much less cramped, as is the DRZ 400. Power wise, this bike, you definitely have a little more grunt all the way around than a WR 250, and it definitely has more than a stock CRF 250L, that's for sure. I'm gonna try to bump up this little single track here. It rained last night, everything's a little damp. Now with this 1447, I'm pretty well tapped out in first gear here, but I can't get up to second. In my CRF 250L, I even had the Race Tech spring in the front and on the rear for my weight. And this bike is tenfold better suspension wise even than the CRF was upgraded. Now it's just under the, I would say this suspension is still just a tad under the performance of the WR and the DRZ 400. This bike also has quite a bit of engine braking. Like when I'm going down the hill here, you definitely got quite a bit of engine brake. Wow, the trails are growing up. You guys couldn't tell, but that was a little bit of a steep hill. And I'm not, of course, this bike only has 40 miles on it, so I'm not really ringing it out. I am. See, I'm in second gear there, and I was down to about 7 miles per hour, and I was still going pretty good. I mean, I really like this bike. Now, with the mods I did to it, you'll see in my video, I weighed all the parts that I took off and weighed all the parts that I put back on, and I ended up saving just over 8 pounds, and that's not even with the exhaust yet. Now, I have this 47-tooth sprocket on, and it has very good get up and go, you know, to get you going down the trail. And the suspension I haven't touched. I may turn the preload up, but it's definitely a stiffer suspension setup than what is on the CRF 250L out of the box. And that's why I got this bike instead of the CRF 300, because I've seen the initial reviews on the CRF 300. Everybody says the suspension is just as soft as the 250 was. So I didn't want to go the route of putting money into the suspension, so I just bought the KLX300. And of course, I took off the stock 605s and went with some Meteor tires, which do much better off-road. This bike feels so much more nimble than a CRF 250L. Now, I can't say how the 300 feels, but it actually, even to me, feels like it has a slimmer profile, and it's a little more nimble feeling than the WR250R. And with the mods I did, I'm already down to basically the stock weight of the WR250R. And the thing is, with this KLX300, basically everything from the 250 last year fits on this bike. So it's not like you have to wait for all of your aftermarket to catch up so you can get your accessories on your bike. You just get the stuff from the 250 and you're ready to go. Now, I'm standing up doing most of my riding. That's just how I roll. So I'm not sure what you're seeing in the camera here. I'm not doing anything too gnarly here today. I mean, I have had this out on some gnarlier stuff. It will definitely handle it. I have a Delcovic exhaust coming for it. They are currently the only one I could find that has the O2 sensor bung on it. The shifting on this bike, it is a little, when you shift, it feels a little stiffer shifting than the CRF. As far as, you know, your shift, your foot lever. Everything's starting to green up here in Pennsylvania. But overall, I mean, after owning all those other bikes, I am very, very happy with Very happy with this bike. One thing I do notice, being I stand up a lot, the brake pedal, I could actually probably raise it up in the air some if that's possible. It seems a little low when you're trying to get your boot on it when you're standing. But this bike, yeah, very happy with it. I mean, after having those bikes, I would probably pick this one out of those. Now granted, I'm talking about the CRF 250L. I'm basing my opinion on that. I haven't ridden the 300. I mean, this bike out of the box, you're not going to pull a wheelie without the clutch in first gear, but I mean, you can get the front wheel over a log, you know, or a stick or something like that, or a rock. But it's much better now that I have the 47 tooth on the back. It is much better as far as powering over obstacles. Much better. So there you go. That's my KLX300. Like I said, if you have any questions on anything that I've done to it so far, when you look at it, you can kind of take a look and see that it's different from when it comes off the showroom floor. But I have a video that deals with that, and I'll have more to come. But this bike, I'm very happy with it. I know it's an old design, but it's tried and true. I mean, I would definitely take this over the other two 250s at the moment, and probably the CRF 300L, just because of the suspension is probably, I mean, I'm sure it's probably better than stock than the CRF 250L from what I've been seeing, you know, on other videos. But it's a great bike. I mean, I've done some little hill climbs here with it. I've launched it in the air. I've had it up rocky trails prior to today. Everything works well. It handles well. Feels good on the road. So if you have any questions, put them down below in the comments. Even if you think I suck and the video sucks, hit the subscribe button, even if you're never going to watch my ass again. But remember, like, subscribe, and get on your bike and get outside.